Another video, and in this video we're playing Spaceflight Simulator, a very good game that not too many people know about, but it's got tons of downloads on the Google Play Store. Anyway, I built a rocket. This thing here that I'm calling a rocket needs some upgrades like that, and now we can go to space with it. Yeah, so if you look in the top right corner, you've got height, velocity, and time warp buttons. Then if you look in the bottom right, you've got throttle and that, which is more in the middle now. Oh yes, and you've got your staging sequence. In the bottom left, you have your liquid fuel meter. Across from that, you have your turning stuff. That's so you can turn. And in the top left, you have your pause menu, your map screen. What's this? Don't worry about that. Previous recording attempt. Oh. Anyway. Onwards to space. One out of 5 degrees. Okay, now it's 5 out of 5 degrees. Okay. Actually, it was 4.4, but who cares? It just makes an approximation. Let's go to 20. Because I always take a steeper ascent profile with low thrust weight ratio craft, like this one. Search on Google what that means, because I can't explain what it means. I'm only not old. I'm only not old. I'm not old. I'm not wise. I'm stupid. I'm completely and utterly stupid. And that's a fact. Right, turn off the engine. See, we still got a bit of fuel left at that stage. This is great. Also, guys, if you're wondering, the reason I use this engine is because it's extremely efficient. It's a fish. It's extremely fish. By the way, just because this looks like a V2 missile does not mean I am trying to impersonate it. Well, not impersonate it, recreate it, sorry. Why am I saying impersonate it? That means I'm standing on my bedroom floor making rocket sounds with my arms by my sides. That's stupid. Oh, right, we're out of liquid fuel. Because the V2 did not have 2 stages. Unlike its name, which is V2, no, it means Vengeance 2. And you got the Vengeance 1, which was a autopilot jet plane. Well, I say jet plane. Ramjet. Was it ramjet or pulse jet? No, it's pulse jet. I mean, a pulse jet and ramjet are jets with no moving parts. So it's very odd. They use like their shape to compress the air. Here we go. Look at this. This is further than I've ever got before. This is further than I've ever gotten before. We will. Yes, we will. We will make orbit. And Come on. Boom! We done it. We made orbit. We got into orbit. 5 minutes in. Okay. Look at that. Placenta periapsis is barely out of the atmosphere. Let's just burn. By the way, just saying, Earth's atmosphere is not 30 kilometers. It's actually, the ISS is at like 300 kilometers, and Earth's atmosphere like properly ends at like 1,000 kilometers. I don't properly know that number anyway. Right, that's gone. Woo! Yeah, that ejection force on the top decoupler is 80 kilonewtons, which is the highest possible setting for a decoupler of its size. So it's very strong. Because I needed the nose cone to be able to very quickly eject. Okay, so... And by the way, there's no re-entry effects in this game. There will be soon. No, it just isn't now. You just got two of those. By the way, the big arrow is the one that you're in. And the smaller arrows, the ones you're not in. This is the moon. I got my eyes on the moon. Eyes on the prize. But not this episode. We're just going to do some rather rudimentary things this episode. And there's good news. As soon as I've guided this below like 200 or whatever, meters, 200 altitude or 200 meters altitude, I can just leave it alone, which is good. And we won't have to deal with, well, this. Because I am sure that you do not want to be watching me do this for an entire episode. Right, quick, open the parachute. Now you see, yeah, it's like 200 or 210, it opens fully. Now I can just build a new rocket, because that's parachuting down. So it's time to resume the build. And do some editing. Up there. We need that. We need a docking port. Here. We need some solar panels. And then we need to go to the fairings section. And there we go. This will be our first satellite, launched in a very inappropriately shaped rocket. It reminds me of Jeff Bezos' rocket. See, look, this engine turns. It's beautiful, isn't it? Anyways. Check that. 9 minutes. Okay. 9 minutes, 30 seconds. Okay. Look at us. Can I move this into like the middle? No, it only goes at the side. Okay. Just experimenting with my recording software on camera. No harm in that. By the way, that angle meter, I'm supposed to be at 30 degrees. I don't pay attention to that most of the time. This has a low TWR. Again. Search it on Google. I'm not telling you. I don't know the definition of it. I just know roughly what it means, like thrust to weight ratio or something. This has the thrust to weight ratio of 1.4, which means it can barely lift its own weight. Well, I say barely, which means it could only lift another 0.4 of its weight on this. Otherwise, it just wouldn't be able to lift it. This is probably the smallest rocket to launch a satellite you're ever going to get. Probably wondering why I'm just turning sideways and not firing the engine. Reason, but watch. It's more efficient to burn your apoapses. So I'm going to do a double burn ascent instead of a single burn ascent. See, as soon as I'm out of the atmosphere, burn. See? And I'm out of liquid fuel. And I can do that. And then I'm zooming forward in my inappropriately shaped, well, top of the rocket, not head of the... Anyway. Now see that bit? That's just going to go down. See, that's going to hit the ground. Just next to the rename sign. Wait, I can actually rename this. No, I'm not going to... Why wouldn't I rename this? Earth Sat 1. Rename. Yeah! Okay, Earth Sat 1. Earthsat 1! Now get rid of those fairings. They are non-required. I'm going to do that. It's going to get rid of that. Here we go! Ah. Just a second. Hey! I've got fuel! Ah! Okay, new plan. We are taking a more aggressive approach. Much more aggressive approach. I do not care if my rocket has no parachute. No, guys. This is my more aggressive approach. It's an odd approach. I know. It's a very odd approach. But it'll work. No, go away. Good, right. Right. And when we've gotten up out of the atmosphere, I can burn and everything's fine and dandy. Because this rocket is completely and totally over-engineered. And I did not need something of such chunkiness. On the other hand, I did need this. Just not that much fuel. Good, but it's not the best orbit. So I'm going to do some orbital editing. That's what I call it. I call it orbital editing. Rename. Good. Right. Look how clear it is. What's this? Oh yeah, it's this. That was one of my previous attempts at recording a video on this world. So we have 2 satellites in orbit. Only one of them I did today. But we have 2 satellites in orbit, and that's the important part. I think that now it would be the perfect time to end this video. Cheerio!